Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. This is my spiritual awakening. I have gone on a little adventure up the trail that's right near my house and found this little place here. And I thought it was a nice place to just sit and commune with nature and with you guys because I wanted to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart and is kind of the crux of what I've learned most along this awakening process. And I've done many videos. I even have a playlist called the Emotions Playlist. If you're new to the channel and haven't watched, hop on in there. There's 1,001 videos. I've repeated these messages, but it bears repeating. It bears repeating over and over and over again until we get it, okay? And so today I want to talk about emotions, and I want to talk about purging those emotions, and I want to talk about the necessity of it as your healing journey. So lately, again, I've been reading for the second time The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. Very good book, highly recommend. I'm also doing a couple of courses by Gabor Mate because Spirit has sequestered me into hermit energy again. And, well, I've been in it for so many years now. I'm kind of getting used to it, although at the same time it is divinely orchestrated for me to feel the feels, because quite frankly, if I was around people, I wouldn't be feeling my feels. I would be distracted. I would be people pleasing. I would be, hey, let's go here and do this. Hey, I'll cook you dinner. Hey, I'll clean this mess up for you. Hey, I'll listen to your problems. Hey, that's what I would be doing. Because people have been my numero uno addiction and distraction. Because at the root of it all, for me, has been a heart chakra wound. This Kundalini awakening gets to the root wounds. And for me, there's been two primary that have been problematic throughout my awakening, that being the root, feeling grounded, feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling part of a tribe, and then also heart, feeling loved, and, my desire to be loved has motivated pretty much everything I've ever done in my life. So it's like addictions on top of addictions, and at the bottom of it is the fundamental human need to be loved. And so because I really wanted to be loved, I did a lot of stupid shit. So I did. Because, maybe this will make me accepted, if I go into the smoking area and hang out with cool kids, maybe they're going to accept me. If I go out drinking and party, girls gone wild, maybe this group of people is going to accept me and love me. If I listen to these people's problems and I'm always there for them, maybe they're going to love and accept me. And Spirit is like, okay, I'm lifting you up out of this nonsense and I'm plopping you down here in the penalty box until you learn some really hard lessons. And those hard lessons come through the processes of emoting. So for me now, what I understand as emotions is energy in motion. But when you grow up your whole life and it's not safe to emote, like one of the questions in this compassionate inquiry course I'm taking, well, who did you talk to about that? That question really triggered me because I'm like, fuck me, I had nobody to talk to about my emotions because the people that were causing me the emotional upsets, the people that were causing the hurt, the pain, the angst, the suffering, was the very people that in a normal situation I should have been able to go and talk to, you know. But you don't talk to your abuser about their abuse. Well, trust me, I tried. That didn't go very far. That got me hit. You know, when I was young, very young, I was quite obstinate and had a lot of temper in me. I had a lot of temper tantrums when I was a little girl because I was being abused and I didn't know how to make the abuse stop. So my initial attempts with my limited consciousness at the age of 3 was to have temper tantrums and fits. So I did. And, you know, I didn't have the language skills. And even if I had had the language skills, I would have been ignored anyways, because it wasn't in their best interest to stop abusing me. They were getting something out of it. So it didn't matter what I would have said or what I wouldn't have said or how I would have said it or if I was screaming or if I was crying or if I was pleading. It wouldn't have really mattered. It would all boil down to, I'll give you something to cry about. I'll give you something to be pissed off about. And down would come the pants and the handprints would be left on the ass. And, you know, I'm very anti-spanking. I don't care what people say. As somebody who grew up getting spanked a lot, bare butt scenario, handprints and welts, that shit fucks you up. So don't do it. There's far superior ways to be there for your kids, because that's my point, is as a kid, I was trying to communicate, this wasn't working for me, what about my needs? I have some needs here, like I need to be loved and shown compassion and understanding. And instead, in a fight or flight, you know, acting out, just got me more hurt. So over time, the organism that was her, I don't resonate with that name anymore, but the organism that was little Stacy, if you don't know my name, that was it, was desperate for survival. So over years, she learned that fight didn't work. So she stopped fighting. And she learned that flight didn't work, because where the hell was I supposed to go at age 3 when I had no one to talk to? I didn't have grandparents. I didn't have aunts and uncles that lived in the same province as me. I think the sum total that my extended family saw me over a 20-year time span was maybe 15, 20 days at most. So they certainly didn't know what was going down. And then the people within the household weren't saying diddly squat. They were all following the dictation or the orders, the direction of my mother, who was narcissistic. And I didn't have neighbors to go and talk to. That wasn't something that was cultivated. I did have one set of neighbors up at my cottage. We had a cottage growing up, and they were the closest thing I had to help. But they, at the end of the day, weren't help, because nothing went down, or very little went down up there, because that's why I loved being in nature. I loved being by the lake, collecting frogs. You know, I found peace up there. And there was a sense of safety, even though I couldn't communicate to them, because at that point I had long learned to, like, not say anything. You know, you don't trust teachers. You don't trust anyone. So you don't, as a kid. In that situation, you learn to completely disassociate, depersonalize, numb as best as you can. And that's the birthplace of fawning, the trauma response that is fawning, which is to just kind of try your hardest to fall into place. But there was something inside of me that was desperate to be heard, to be seen, to be saved. But nobody saved me. So they did. Even when, at age 15, I attempted very superficially to end my life. I did not do a very good job of that. But I cut my wrists as much as to bring blood to the surface. And I was put in sick kids hospital for 3 days on watch and evaluated. And even then, in that situation, there had been too many years of total indoctrination to not speak and disassociation that I wouldn't have been able to say, I am being abused. I wouldn't have been able to say it. I wouldn't have been able to have those words because I had normalized or compartmentalized and bought into the script that is, the problem must be me. Because everybody else is pretending everything's fine and the problem must be me. So because you're experiencing all these traumas as a young person, you don't know how to label them. You don't know how to feel them. You just know how to survive, is what you do. You get into people pleasing to the point of completely and utterly losing yourself. It's performative. But you don't know that it's performative. You're just like, I got to do what I got to do to like get by, to keep on keeping on. So this process, these traumas, trauma is not, as Gabor Mate says, is not what happens to you. It's what happens inside of you as a result of what happens to you. So what happened to me is complete depersonalization, a lack of self. I had no idea who I was. Zero, zip zilch. I kept trying on different masks. Is this me? Is this me? Is this the me that's going to get me love? Is this the me? I also completely disassociated from my own emotional landscape and an understanding of how to have emotions. Because if having emotions, like when I was 3, I'd get angry when I would get raged at, but that would get me hit. The consequence associated with emotions was more terrifying than the emotion. So it became a compounded problem of not emoting effectively because I was terrified to emote. Absolutely terrified. If I showed that I was sad or emotional, like, she'd derive pleasure from that. And I didn't want to do that. So I tried really hard to be stoic. I was not always good at it. If I showed my displeasure of like, stop yelling at me, stop putting me down, stop blaming me, stop shaming me, stop minimizing me. Like, if I did any of that, then it would get worse. So the consequence of emoting compounded the fear of emoting to the point where it was like a faulty system. Now, humans emote. That's what we do. We sweat, we pee, we poo, we eat, we emote. It's a human function. But there's this war on emotions that starts within the family unit. Don't cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Don't complain, I'll give you something to complain about. go away. Children are meant to be seen and not heard. What are you whinging about? Why don't you just be grateful? There's starving kids in Africa. I could have done anything about the starving kids in Africa at age 5. You know, I really couldn't. But thanks for putting that responsibility on my shoulders as well. You know, and then all the other doctrine that is programmed into us to make us feel embarrassed or difficult to even emote in the first place. So as a result of not being myself and not being allowed to have emotions, certain survival tactics came into place, and I needed to keep those things like locked in, like shut down. My first favorite methodology was smoking. You know, I'm gonna suck that shit back. The grief, the pain, the angst, the why won't anybody love me, the hurts, the suffering. I'm gonna suck that shit back. I'm gonna suck it in. I'm gonna like smoke it out. Smoke, put it in. Like swaddle. I've done videos before on smoke is like a swaddle. It comes up and it like just gives you a nice big warm hug in your heart chakra. And underneath the smoking was a deep desire to be loved. So it was. And then drinking came not long after, and drinking was a way to be like loved by a social group, acceptance. You know, it allowed me to like perform like a performing monkey and cracking jokes and like, oh yeah, you know, and then I'd get people liking, and oh, maybe they'll like me now. And so that liquid, you know, was just pouring more fuel on top of. So it's like you have all these emotions that came into existence because of trauma. So trauma happens, and then that creates emotions, but those emotions you're not safe to actually have. So they get locked in you. And then we compound them and hold them in this like lockbox using tools, the only tools that we can find, which was for me smoking, drinking, people pleasing, doing. Like I was amazing at doing favors for people. Like I'll do that for you. You need help cleaning your house? I'll come over and help you clean your house. Oh, you need me to mind your kids? I'll mind your kids. You need me to do this? And then I'd always be like, but maybe if I do all these things for these people, maybe they're going to turn around and like offer something back, like anything. Yeah, that really happened. So it did, because people quickly learn. Like, look at this schmuck. She's so stupid. She wants to come over and like steam clean my rug for me. Sure, I'll do that. I'm going to take advantage of that. And so you get used over and 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 over again, which just makes that pain worse. The pain works because you've got this unhealed pain that's like energetically emitting out a frequency that's I sometimes compare to be like baby birds, you know, baby birds sitting in a nest going, feed me, feed me, feed me. And they're just going to take anything that's like chewed up and spat back at them because they're just so grateful for food. And it stunts your growth. It stunts your spiritual growth. So you carry with you this baby bird energy of neediness, which means you then go out in the world and you tolerate being treated like shit. And you tolerate people abusing you and using you. And, you know, and that just compounds the problem. So then you have more shit on top of the original wound. And the only way to heal this stuff is to feel this stuff. But as you peel back the layers of like the dysfunctional marriage and the dysfunctional toxic friendships and the doing, the constant favors for other people and the overgiving and the people pleasing and the negating self, because you don't even know who yourself is, so you might as well negate it. The lack of boundaries, the dysfunctional behaviors and addictions that aren't good for you, the overeating. I'm going to shove my pain back. I'm going to swallow it down. I'm going to swallow it all down. My life's not sweet enough, so I'm gonna have this box of donuts to make my life a little bit sweeter. So you keep peeling back these disgusting, dysfunctional layers, and then you get into the original wounds, the original stuff, and it's like gangrenous, disgusting stuff, and you have to go in at it with a scalpel and cut it out, and you're terrified to do that. You're terrified to do that because you have learned your whole life that emoting has consequence. If I emote this feeling, I'm going to have consequence. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get shouted at. I'm going to get hit. I'm going to get ridiculed. I'm going to get laughed at. I'm going to get mocked. I'm going to get shamed. I'm going to get blamed. I'm going to, whatever it is. And so you have to peel back this scar tissue so that you can get access to those emotions and to let them rip. So this is like a double whammy, because it's like, as I said, I've been dealing with root chakra wounds and heart chakra wounds and their interconnection between the two. Because if you don't feel safe, which is root chakra consciousness, you can't emote, you can't clear this heart space, so you can't. So you have to cultivate safety first and foremost. Am I in a safe environment? I couldn't emote the way that I emote if I was with people. One, because I'd be people pleasing, so I wouldn't be doing it. And two, I'd be terrified of them laughing at me or saying that I'm disordered or there's something wrong with me because I am experiencing 4 years of grief. Well, really, what I'm doing is I'm releasing 52 years of grief. That's a lot of grief that's compressed down in there. It's like a zip file that's all compressed in. And if we don't release these trapped emotions, then we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. The most powerful healing that I have done in the last 4 years is the feeling. You've seen, or maybe you haven't, but if you're new to my channel, you've seen, I have dramatically changed. I'm not even remotely close to being the same human I was 6 years ago. I don't look the same. I don't talk the same. I don't dress the same. I don't like the same things. I am doing everything opposite to everything that she used to do. That's my rule. What did I used to do? Okay, now I'm going to do the opposite, because that got me sick, disordered, diseased, fucked up in an abusive marriage with shitty friends, and I don't want any of those things. So I'm going to now do the opposite. So that means, first and foremost, learning to have compassion for myself as I experience these things. So the last week, there's been a lot of fear purges, as well as a lot of grief. A lot of grief coming to the surface. My chest physically, and this is the thing, is the practice of feeling your emotions begins with your body. It begins by really practicing mindfulness and getting your physical form in alignment, So some of the tools that I use to help facilitate the release of what's trapped in my body is yin yoga, walking in perfect alignment, breath work, even I did some yoga nadri today, which is a mindfulness yoga practice, and tears came during that, because the more we get into the body and feeling the sensations of the emotions rattling around in there, desperately trying to get out, and maybe you'll feel them as nausea. Maybe you'll feel them as hot or cold. Maybe you'll feel them as a burning pain in your chest, and you think you're having a heart attack. I'm not having a heart attack. I'm just grieving. Heartache is a real thing. Gut instinct is a real thing. There's a lot of phrases that we use to describe physical sensation of things that are emotional in nature, and getting into the body means getting past that scar tissue and saying, listen, I know you're scared. I know you don't want to release, but you can feel it. Like, I can feel it when it's coming now. And I'm like, oh, there's more rattling around in there. So it's like literally emptying out a big bowl. If you think of the sacral region as our water center, think of a fishbowl, right? And inside that fishbowl, you're going to throw in some experiences, this and this. These are the emotions. All of these things are the emotions that are trapped in that fishbowl. And we just keep collecting them through our lives because we don't know how to get rid of them. And then it gets to the point where our fishbowl is literally huge. I was very fat because I had a lot of stuff in my fishbowl that I couldn't just store it here. I had to store it in my thighs. I had to store it in my shoulders. I had to store it in my womb. I had to store it in my hips and in my legs, everywhere, my low back, my trunk, my big buttocks. I shoved a lot of this emotions everywhere. You got to just keep shoving them places, right? And then you go, okay, wait a second. Now I'm really sick because all of these things are blocking the natural energetic flow of my organism, my body, my soul, my essence. So I've got all this stuff that's blocking me, which is making me sick and fat and diseased and inflamed and disordered and all this kind of stuff. I need to start processing some of this stuff. So I'm going to allow myself to open. I'm going to sense the experience. What am I sensing today? Oh, I'm sensing something hard and rough. And I got to sit with this and let this come out. And then it's the next one, and then the next one. And so 4 flipping years of the next ones and the next ones and the next ones and the next ones is what I've been doing. To heal this stuff, and it's very weird when it happens. Okay, so let's say this here experience was when you were 5 and you weren't picked on the baseball team and everybody laughed at you. That's a little T trauma, but it's still a trauma. And you had nobody to talk to. You went home, your mother was an alcoholic, and so you couldn't communicate with her, so you had nobody to talk this out with, right? If you had somebody to talk this experience out with, it would have been out, but you didn't. So you have this experience from when you were hit, or when you were abused, or when you had molestation, or and that's, a lot more people have that than you would think. So you have this stuck in this secret, right? You're holding on to it. You're not showing the world, I'm fine, everything's A-okay. I'm normal over here. No need to look at me. I got my Maybelline on. I'm looking pretty. I'm okay. I got my comedian hat on. I can crack the jokes. Everything's fine. And then your Kundalini happens, and it's like, hello. What about me? What about me? And so when this is coming up to surface, right, emotions, in my theory, from my experience, aren't present day, right? So this experience happened when I was 5 with the consciousness of a 5-year-old. So it's got the charge of a 5-year-old. So I'm a 52-year-old experiencing a 5-year-old emotion. Okay, 5 years, not as in it was 5 years ago, as in I was 5 at the time that this emotion. So as it comes out, I am energetically 5 again. Okay? Your emotions don't have a sense of time. Your emotions aren't like, oh, that happened 40 years ago and I can see it from a different perspective. That's your consciousness, not your emotions. Your emotions were made and created at a time period, and so they have the signature of that time period. No different than if you create a file, the metadata shows, this file was created on this date and it is got this many bytes and it's got blah, 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 right? So this file, for all intents and purposes, is 5-year-old you, okay? And 5-year-old you is trapped in you, and now you're having a kundalini, and the kundalini is going, it's gotta come out, and you do some breath work, and you're like, I gotta breathe this shit out of me, and it comes out. So while it's coming out, while you're processing this, you are 5. You are 5. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm 5. So my tears will be like, like crying like a 5-year-old. And luckily, we still have the observer to be able to be like, it's okay, little 5-year-old you. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. I can observe you. I am witnessing you now, because now we are the witness that we never had. So I'm going to witness you, and I'm going to hold you, and I'm going to do some somatic movement and rock you and put on some soothing music, or put on one of these affirmation meditations to like talk you through this, because while this is coming out, you are 5. You are 5. And that's why it's so bloody scary. It was scary to you when you were 5, and it's scary to you now. Because nothing in you wants to experience that experience that you didn't want to experience. So you're experiencing the release of an energy that was in you and created in your 5-year-old self. And as it is witnessed by you, it gets processed out of you. And then you are that void, that space that took up on you gets to fill back up, right? It gets to fill back up with your soul's essence. So more and more of your soul fills you, and you get back into that self that you never were. Because how are you supposed to be yourself when you got all this stuff blocking you? Okay, so it's dense energy inside of you. It's all blocked up, and soul is like, I want in, move out of my way, I want in. And the clearing of all of this gunk, okay, all of this crap, means that you cry like an infant. I can remember just right after my Kundalini awakening, I was literally on the floor, immobile, for about an hour, lying face down. And in that moment, I was like 6 months, years of age. Like, I was like, I can't move. Like, I physically couldn't move. Now, I know people who have talked about these kinds of experiences with ayahuasca. Listen, you don't need ayahuasca to emote. You really don't. You do need a safe place to do it, but it's something that you can practice and get better at yourself. If you need somebody to hold space for you, I can do that. Like, I am really good at that, because I've been holding space for myself for 4 years now as these things come out. So I've experienced what it is to have the longing and the missing of my birth father's hands. In that moment, I was like, where did they go? Because when you pick up a child, like an infant, you pick them up underneath their like little back, right? And I was, my little self, my birth father went to prison at some stage. And so he was there, and then he wasn't. But my 6-month-old, or however old I was, self didn't know where he went. I just physically felt the absence. And so there was a wound, and that particular wound was stored right in here. And when I was purging it out, I was crying like an infant, like wailing. And like, it's a good thing nobody was home, because they would have been like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with you, woman? I've had moments like that where people were like, what the hell's wrong with you? Because I was processing through these repressed emotions that have been stored in us. And so these repressed emotions, as I said, can be stored anywhere. So the more you pay attention to your body, the more you will identify where they're located and what you can do to like clear them out and then start experiencing them. And it's difficult. It's difficult to emote all of the emotions you never wanted to emote. You didn't want to. And society further exacerbates the problem by telling you you're disordered for having emotions. I don't know. Maybe if you have like huge fluctuating emotions, it's because you've got all this shit inside of you and you're angry because Uncle Bob touched you inappropriately, and that anger is in you, and your mother didn't believe you when you told her, and so you had nobody safe to talk to, and your brother used to tickle you in a way that made you feel really uncomfortable. And at Christmas parties, everybody was making fun of you and making you feel like ridiculous and small. And you had a lot of grief. So it's not just what happened to you, but it's all the things that didn't happen to you. You know, you wanted to have a normal upbringing, but your dad was in jail and suffering from poverty. You had a divorce in your household. And you had a parent that was a drug addict. You had a parent that was like too caught up with their own traumas to be able to pay attention to you or give a damn. So maybe those fluctuating emotions, all these emotions that you're having, are because you were never allowed to have them. Maybe that's why you have moments of rage and moments of sadness and moments of grief and moments of confusion and moments of fear. Maybe that's why, because you were never allowed to experience those emotions when you should have, right? Had somebody said, you know, Mommy and Daddy are getting divorced and we're going to put you into play therapy to help you process through that, then you would have been like, okay, I'm fine. Yay! You know, maybe if Daddy had gone to AA, because that was what was available in your town back then, instead of being drunk and you had to pick up his puke in the morning to help enable, like, because that's what the whole family learned to do, then you wouldn't have had that frustration and anger, you know? So maybe all the emotions that you have are 100% justified. Maybe there's not something wrong with you. Maybe what's wrong with you is the fact that you've never been told that it's okay to emote. It's okay, that you're safe to feel these things finally and let them come out of your body so that your body can begin to heal itself. Because all of these things are blockages, energetic blockages into your self-cleaning, self-healing system. You give your system the right environment that's not all clogged up, and you begin to heal. You begin to, you heal those core wounds that was grief because you didn't feel loved, you know. You heal that core wound of that, and then you're like, oh, okay, wait a second here. I'm processing through all this grief and this pain, and I can fill this space up, this new clear space, with my soul's essence, with God's love. And wait a second here. I'm healing. I'm healing. Listen, I didn't ask to have all this crap happen to me in my life. I certainly did not. But it did, and it's my responsibility to clear it out. To keep clearing it out. And if that takes me another 40 years, so be it. This is what I'm here to do. We are cleaning systems. Dehumidifiers. Let's dehumidify ourselves and clean out and give ourselves a thorough chance to have energies that we should have always had. Like love. like compassion, like understanding, like being seen for who you truly are, for being heard, for being accepted. All of those things start from within. So Spirit has placed me in isolation to experience the lonely, to experience the grief, to experience the loss of all the things that I wish had happened but didn't. And it's painful. And I'm going to love each emotion with the utmost compassion that I can show it. So today I'm in a little bit of grief. And that's okay. It's okay. It's human. It's human to grieve. So I'm going to hold on to my grief today, and I'm going to feel it fully. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to say, hurry on up now. Get on out. I'm not going to repress it, hide it, pretend I'm fine. Everything's great. I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm going to be a woman in grief. What are you, a woman or a man, in today? What energy is it that you are working on processing out of you? And what age was that emotion created in? Drop me a comment. I'd love to know. If you need some help processing through your emotions and you would like to book a one-on-one with me, feel free to reach out and do that. Otherwise, I'm sending absolutely everybody out there my love and compassion as humanity is going through this purging, and it's happening in waves. It's not happening all at once, thank God. Can you imagine everyone processing fear at the same time or grief at the same time? No, it's happening in waves, and different people are experiencing different things at different times. But everybody has to, right? If we are truly to go into the age of Aquarius, there needs to be a massive conscious evolution. And the way we evolve is by raising our vibe. Not by pretending to raise our vibe, not by spouting love and light and bullshit, by actually raising our vibe by sitting with the grief and allowing the grief to be heard, because it was never heard before. So that's how we raise our vibe, is by feeling it, by experiencing it, by sensing it. Sensate. That's it. If you need some help, join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group. Join our Zoom meetings on Wednesday night. Talk to others who are going through massive rounds of purging and emotions being unrepressed. It's hard shit, man. It's not easy. That's why we are warriors. Never forget that. I'm sending you all my absolute love. Thank you. Thank you and thank you for all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the donations, the supers, the everything that you do to support me. I seriously, I love you so much. I love you so much. Mwah! Peace. Peace in.